My name is Maggie Hutchison and I'm from Evanston, Illinois.
My name is Josh Abrahamson, and before coming here, was living in Madison, New Jersey.
My name is Eric Meberg, and I'm from Pleasantville, New York.
My name is Brandon Chenevert. I've been at Koinonia for a little over 7 months, 8 months. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Been here since May of 2013, so that makes it some number of months, it being January now.
I've worked at Koinonia since June of 2013.
Just shy of 20 months.
When I got here, I joked that my job description was just whatever they tell me to do. That's kind of what it was. We don't really do a lot of titles here, but I do a lot of groundskeeping when there's grounds to be kept. Always in the dish pit doing dishes. Whenever a group is here, you're going to be involved in some way.
Primarily, I work as a cook and as the environmental education coordinator for the Creation Learning Center program.
I would just simply say just servant community team member.
I work in a lot of ways with the maintenance and upkeep of Koinonia. And anytime we see an issue that needs to be taken care of and then take care of that issue, it feels very rewarding. There was a lot of work that needs to be done here. There still is a lot of work to be done. But to come in with a mindset of we're going to get things done and we're going to get this place up and going the way it used to be.
My favorite place.
My favorite place, one of my favorite places, I guess I can have more than one, but I like to walk with groups down the Yellow Trail just from the conference center, and you go into Pathfinder Meadow, which is the kind of a grassy area with used to be a Christmas tree farm, but it's just kind of open, and it's really nice in the fall. Everything's really nice in the fall, actually. Lake, open spaces, colors changing.
Well, since I work in the kitchen, I really like being there, but I also really enjoy being down at the floating bridge. Sometimes on Sunday afternoons after everyone leaves, I take a walk down to the floating bridge, and it's just really peaceful and quiet down there, so it's a cool experience.
Well, I guess the lake. It's kind of like having your own bass lake down there, and not a lot of people are on it.
That's a very hard question to answer because I get the most enjoyment working with the guests that come. So that would be depending on where I'm interacting with the people. If I had to pick one spot, I would have to say it is Friday nights at the front desk, because I like being the first person that people see, and I like welcoming them in. So I would have to say the front desk on a Friday night.
Favorite part of Koinonia? Well, I guess that could be a couple things if you're taking the Koinonia as the Greek term of community. So what's my favorite part of community, or the Lutheran ministry?
I hadn't even heard of the name Koinonia or the fact that it was a Greek word, but I've learned a lot about it. My favorite part of Koinonia, I think, if we're not talking physical Koinonia as a place, I think my favorite part of Koinonia is just kind of the family that is cultivated here. People that come in are treated not as guests, but as members of a family of Koinonia.
The place or the community, or both? I think it's really valuable to have an intergenerational experience. I think that in my life in Minneapolis, which is where I lived before this, I obviously was exposed to people of all different ages, but I wasn't really actively a part of a community with people from all generations. So it's really valuable to see what different perspectives people bring and to get to truly know someone who's maybe 40 or 50 years older than you. So I think that's not to be underestimated, and it's something that our society doesn't really value anymore, but I've definitely come to see the value of that here.
I guess my favorite part of Koinonia, the place, is just the people I work with. I think that, I don't know, it's just, at this point, I sometimes can take it for granted just every morning having the meeting with these guys, and I don't know, there's a lot of mystery when you're involved in a faith community and a lot of different nuances to it. So, and just the laughter too, it's just every day, so it's great.
Just spreading the ministry of what Koinonia itself is, which is what its namesake is, koinonia, which is fellowship, which is community. And so just being with the people and spreading that has to be my favorite part of this.
One of my favorite times here was when Brandon and one of our other summer staff members had finished building the roof on Maintenance Bay. And to celebrate, we had a get-together, and it also happened to be Eric's birthday. So we set up a table using one of the roofing panels across some sawhorses and set up a fire, and I made a cake, and Paul brought all these really fancy hors d'oeuvres, and we were just standing around having a party down at Maintenance Bay. So, you know, what better than to get creative and celebrate something that's definitely worth celebrating.
But when we got that roof put on, we had a little party and a commemoration, and it was just a great time. People from the community came in, staff was there, we had hors d'oeuvres, we put the American flag up. But it was just a sense of, you know, newness out of something that was kind of sad. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of those here at Koinonia. You know, something that needs to get worked on, someone steps up, gets the job done. You know, I think with Homestead, there's currently a crew going out there to take care of Homestead. People saw what kind of disrepair it was in and said, this isn't right, we need to change it. And from that, it's getting done. Like I said, there's a lot of things like that. But I think, for the most part, working with people I really care about and working with volunteers to make this place a really nice, aesthetically pleasing retreat center in the woods is a great thing.
Just being with the three directors and just the kind of people they are and the kind of work, the kind of ministry they've done is really something I didn't have access to before. So it kind of not flips a switch, but it does change how you would, you know, view some of your own personal worship and what you're involved with the church. So
The Spirit of God moving in Koinonia, I think, works mainly in an example of its name. You know, Koinonia, the Koinonia of the Holy Spirit, the Koinonia of Highland Lake, the Koinonia that we share between New York City, up in northern New York, places in Pennsylvania. It's really an encouraging thing. You know, we have this koinonia, this crazy Greek word that, you know, doesn't mean anything when you look at it on paper, but when you see it lived out in the lives of the people that are here, it's really encouraging. I don't know very many other places that I could have friends that are 65 years old and friends that are 13 years old. But that happens here. These transgenerational relationships are really powerful and really important. And a place like Koinonia really fosters those kinds of relationships.
I have laughed harder here than I have almost anywhere or any other time in my life. Yeah, the combination of staff here is hilarious, but they're also just really good people that care a lot about this ministry. So thank you to everyone for making this a wonderful experience.
when I'm an old crotchety man and in my rocking chair, I'll just remember laughing with people, just laughing with the staff, laughing with guests, and kind of just being bewildered in a life of faith and in a life of community, but in a good way. So just the relationships you make and form are usually what stick out in your head, and I think that will be the case for me.
If I was going to say something to you as someone who is thinking of coming to Koinonia, or someone that hasn't visited in quite a while, I'd say come and try it. Come and taste it for yourself. Down south we have a saying, come on in, the water's fine. And it surely is fine here. The directors that we have now have really turned this into a place of growth, both spiritually and emotionally, relationships. It's just a great place. And when you come, things are definitely going to be different than last time you were here, but those changes are for the good. With programming, with the people that come, we're not going to be the same faces as always, but we've started something in the past 2 years, got the ball rolling, and I think that ball's rolling in a really positive direction. So come on in, the water's fine, I guess.
Obviously, this place is so much to so many people, and really, that's because of those people. Yes, we live here, we work here, but at the same time, our appreciation is extended to the people that make it happen, which is us sometimes, but you know, hats off to everybody else.
This place has changed me for the better because even though I've only been here for 20 months and place is older than 50 years, I feel like I've contributed enough to say that I am truly a part of this place, and I am proud to work here, and that it is an honor being here, and I encourage more people to come. It's just a great place to come.
I think that Koinonia is a really valuable place because of possibility. I think a lot of people come here not knowing what to expect, but the beauty of this place is that it provides a lot of space, both literally and figuratively, for people to learn and grow. I've seen church retreats where, you know, there's formal programming, but it's in the informal moments where people are drinking coffee and standing around that you can have long conversations, important conversations that you don't typically have on a Sunday at church. So there's so many kind of in-between moments that you don't know to expect, but are just as important and are a really valuable part of building community, both with your own group that you come to Koinonia with, but also with the larger Koinonia community of staff and the local volunteers.
Ever since we decided to come here back, I think it was last January, we decided to actually move out. People in all of our social circles have been popping up saying, "Oh yeah, I went to Koinonia as a kid," or "I worked at Koinonia a couple years ago," and it makes me realize how widespread the Koinonia community is. Even over in Lutheran land and Minneapolis, there's people that came to Koinonia as kids. So yeah, I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss the variety of people that I get to know and the freedom of work tasks. But in a lot of ways, I won't miss it. In a lot of the ways, I can't leave Koinonia because, as we were saying earlier, Koinonia is not something that's just here. Koinonia is a family that we have that spans far outside the borders of these acres that we own. So yeah, I'll miss being here in the present. But I'll have the family of Koinonia kind of wherever I go.
What does it mean to live in Koinonia? What does it mean to live in Koinonia? What does it mean to live in Koinonia? In Koinonia. What does it mean to live in Koinonia?